If you're convinced most modern 7-seat SUVs have gone soft and shiny, the 2026-2027 Mitsubishi Pajero Sport is one of the few that still turns up in steel caps, not white sneakers. It isn't pretending to be a tall hatchback with plastic cladding. It's aiming to be the last real 4x4 you can buy without jumping to full Land Cruiser money. If Mitsubishi gets this wrong, it's just another noisy Yuta-based compromise. If they get it right, it becomes a sweet spot between hardcore off-roader and usable family wagon that a lot of people have been waiting for. On the outside, it finally looks like what it is. The front end is a tougher, cleaner take on Mitsubishi's dynamic shield, a broad, upright grille with thick horizontal bars, slim LED headlights, and vertical DRLs that carve down into the bumper. The hood sits higher and squarer so you can actually see the front corners when you're placing it on a track or in a tight car park. Down the sides, a strong shoulder line, pumped wheel arches, and proper ground clearance make it clear this is still based on a serious ladder or frame chassis. Depending on trim, you get roof rails, side steps, skid plates, and 18 or 20-inch wheels with either highway or all-terrain tires. At the rear, the old teardrop taillights are gone, replaced by tight horizontal LED units and a cleaner tailgate and bumper. It still reads as Pajero Sport, just without the cartoon tears. Inside, Mitsubishi finally accepts this is a family tourer as much as a bush tool. The dash is upright and obviously robust, but now carries a clear digital instrument cluster that can show classic dials, off-road angles, or navigation prompts, and a high-mounted central touchscreen with Mitsubishi's latest infotainment. Apple CarPlay and Android Auto are standard, with wireless versions on higher trims, and the system is quicker and easier to live with than older head units. Importantly, climate, volume, and 4WD are still handled by chunky physical knobs and switches you can use with dusty hands, not hidden in deep menus. Materials are a clear step up. Soft touch where your elbows land, stitched panels on mid and high grades, and solid, clicky switchgear that feels ready for years of hard use. Up front, the seats are shaped for long days behind the wheel, with available power adjust, heating, and even ventilation depending on spec. The cabin layout is built around real people and real gear. The second row slides and reclines with plenty of legroom even for tall adults. And the floor is relatively flat in the middle so the unlucky passenger isn't punished. There are rear air vents, USB ports, and storage nooks where families actually need them. The third row and 7-seat versions is honest, fine for kids and shorter adults on trips, and quick to fold flat into the floor when you're hauling cargo instead of people. With the third row down, the Pajero Sport gives you a wide, square load bay that's ideal for camping gear, prams, or a drawer system and fridge if you're building an overland rig. Fold both rear rows and you've effectively got a long, tall cargo van on a 4x4 chassis. Under the bonnet, Mitsubishi hasn't chased headlines. It's refined what buyers already trust. Most markets get a heavily updated 4-liter turbodiesel, 4-cylinder shared with the latest Triton, tuned for cleaner emissions, more torque, and better refinement. Outputs sit around the 2,000 horsepower mark with a strong, flat torque curve designed for towing and steep climbs rather than drag racing. In some regions, it's backed by a 48-volt mild hybrid system that smooths stop-start, adds a little electric shove off the line, and trims fuel use without turning the drivetrain into something unfamiliar. Power goes through a smooth 8-speed automatic that holds gears when you need engine braking and doesn't constantly hunt, whether you're towing or crawling. You can run in 2H rear-wheel drive on dry bitumen for the best economy. Switch to 4H full-time 4-wheel drive for wet roads and gravel. Then lock the center diff in 4HLC or 4LLC with low range when things get serious. And available locking rear differential, hill descent control, and terrain modes for sand, mud, snow, gravel, and rock tweak throttle, shift logic, and traction control, so even a less experienced driver can keep moving or crossovers just dig holes. Proper approach and departure angle, decent ramp over clearance, and real underbody protection mean you're not constantly worried about smashing something expensive the first time you leave the pavement. On road, the updated frame, suspension, and extra sound insulation finally pay off. It still feels like a body-on-frame 4x4. That's the point. But it's no longer the noisy, bouncy, compromised old Yuta-based wagons were. At highway speed, wind and tire noise are well controlled for this class. The diesel hum is pushed into the background, and in higher trims the ride settles into a relaxed, long-legged stride that makes 500 NICM days believable. Around town, light steering and the optional 360-degree camera system make threading this big wagon through car parks and tight streets much easier than the size suggests. Because Mitsubishi knows this is now a family SUV as much as an Outback rig, the safety and tech package is finally where it needs to be. Forward collision mitigation with pedestrian detection, adaptive cruise control, lane departure warning or assist, blind spot monitoring, rear cross traffic alert, and auto high beam are standard or widely available depending on trim. Top grades add a surround view camera with off-road view modes and guidelines, making it much easier to place the truck on narrow trails and when hitching a trailer. Multiple airbags, ISOFIX mounts, and a modern crash structure round out the protection side, so you're not trading safety just to get real 4x4 hardware. In rough U.S. equivalent money, a well-equipped 4x4, 7-seat 2026-2027. Pajero Sport tends to land in the mid-40,000s to mid-50,000s in many markets, with simpler 4x2 or fleet spec models sitting below that and fully loaded leather and Antec pack flagships edging higher. It's more than a soft crossover, but you're buying a ladder frame, a transfer case, locking diffs and suspension designed for punishment, not just styling. The 2026-2027 Mitsubishi Pajero Sport is for people who actually need their SUV to be an SUV, towing bands and boats, crossing bad roads, doing long-distance touring, and still handling school runs on Monday without complaint. It's part family wagon, part Outback Explorer, and in a market drifting towards soft roaders and EV crossovers. It might be one of the last proper 4x4s you can buy without spending luxury money. If you enjoyed this look at the 2026-2027 Pajero Sport, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to Grand Cars, and tell us in the comments how you'd build yours. Tough family hauler, long-distance touring rig, or stripped-back off-road weapon.